I'm sure you've seen the news. The Epstein regime war in the Middle East is affecting how people think about safety and stability. There's a number that should get your attention. The Gulf region is home to 35 million foreign workers. That's more than the entire population of Canada. Now, not all of them are wealthy, obviously, but a meaningful slice, especially people working in finance, oil, gas, and tech, they earn tax free salaries with housing, education, transport, all paid for. If they decide to leave, where do they go? Canada is often the answer, and specifically Oakville. Today, I'll walk you through three realistic scenarios, low, medium, and high probability that GCC expats could move here. And more importantly, what each scenario means for our real estate market. This isn't about fear or hype. This is just useful information that helps us to be prepared for any surprises down the road. So the first scenario is low probability that expats move to Oakville in any meaningful numbers. Why would they stay put? Well, first, the 35 million foreign workers in the GCC are not a single group. The vast majority are low to mid income earners from South and Southeast Asia. They don't have the savings or mobility to relocate to Canada. Second, even amongst the high earners, roughly about 250 to 300,000 Western expats in the UAE alone, many have built lives around tax-free income, year-round sun, and generous benefits. Giving that up for a Canadian winter and a higher tax bill is a very, very tough sell. Also, Canada's current housing market is expensive. Oakville's average home price is above 1.3 million with higher interest rates and stricter mortgage rules. Some expats may be looking at the US, the UK, or even Australia instead. In this scenario, we see little change in Oakville real estate. Demand stays local, prices follow their normal seasonal patterns, and for homeowners, this means stability. For buyers, it means less competition from overseas. Second scenario is medium probability. Expats don't sell everything and move permanently. Instead, they buy a townhome in Oakville as insurance. Here's who we're talking about. High paying jobs in the GCC are concentrated in engineering, banking and finance, IT, healthcare, and executive management. The highest pay is in Qatar and the UAE, Dubai and Abu Dhabi specifically, where packages often include housing, education, and transport allowances. Within that group, Western expats are heavily represented in top management, but skilled Asian professionals in tech and finance are also earning more than ever. So here's the mindset. They don't want to leave their tax free income and sunny lifestyle, but they also don't want to be caught off guard if things get worse. So they buy insurance in the form of property, not a $2.5 million lakefront home, something practical. A townhome in the 900,000 to 1.1 million range in a good school district, easy to rent out. And if they ever need to leave the Gulf quickly, they have a place to land while they figure out their next move. So, what does that mean for Oakville? Well, townhomes become more competitive, especially near transit and good schools. Rental supply stays healthy because these units are rented out most of the year. Prices in that range see steady, not explosive demand. And for buyers in Oakville, this means you're now competing with international buyers even at the townhome level, not just the luxury detached homes. For the sellers of townhomes, this is good news, a new pool of buyers who aren't looking for their forever home. They just want something safe, solid, and rentable. The third scenario is high probability, a larger, faster movement of expats leaving the Gulf for good. This would happen if the conflict expands and directly threatens major Gulf economies. In that case, Canada becomes one of the top destinations, not because it's perfect, but because it's safer and more predictable than most alternatives. Who leaves first? Well, the wealthier expats, especially those in finance, oil and gas, and the executive management. They have the savings, the passports, and the skills to relocate quickly. Rising salaries for skilled Asian professionals in tech and finance also means a second wave of buyers. Oakville benefits significantly as these buyers are looking for family homes in good school districts, typically between 1.5 and $2 million. Now, what changes in our market? Well, more competition for detached homes, faster sales, especially under $2 million, possible price increases of 5 to 10% in targeted neighborhoods. Rental demand also rises as some buyers rent before purchasing. Now, this is not a panic situation, but it is a situation where being informed gives you an advantage. If you're planning to buy or sell in the next 12 months, you'll want to track this closely. All right, so let's summarize the three probabilities. Low probability, no meaningful change. Oakville market follows the local trends. Medium probability, modest demand at the lower end for townhomes, sellers benefit. High probability, clear increase in competition and prices, especially for those family homes under $2 million. Now, here's what stays true in all three scenarios. Oakville remains a desirable place to live because of its school's safety and location. That foundation doesn't change regardless of the world events. And remember that even if all 300,000 Western expats just in the UAE alone wanted to move to Canada, they couldn't do it overnight. Immigration takes time. Real estate moves slower, not at the same pace as the world events. So the expat question simply adds a layer of potential demand. My goal is to help you see it clearly so you can make confident decisions, not emotional ones. Here are two questions for you. Answer one or both in the comments. First, if you were planning to buy or sell in Oakville this year, would you move forward now or wait to see how global events develop? Second, and this one's for anyone watching from the GCC or who knows people living there, if you were someone you know had to leave the Gulf, where would you be most likely to move? Canada, UK, maybe Portugal? There's no right or wrong answer, but your reasoning helps everyone understand what's really happening, the mindset of it all. If you want more clear, useful information about the Oakville real estate market without the noise, follow this channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.